Welcome to round number 5 in the NASCAR Pro Series, late 2015. We're racing here tonight for the Voice Attack 199, Texas Motor Speedway. Good to be back. Mike Fair in the booth joined with me this week, Dustin Phillips, and Jamie Christensen, who kind of stepped out for a minute, but I'm sure he will be back soon. Dustin, how's it going, buddy?
Going good, Mike, and good to be back, and good to see you back for sure.
Oh yeah, man, it was a long time off. You know, good to be back in the booth, seeing these guys run some hard laps.
Sure, man. Getting ready here for qualifying, and got several fast guys here in the field to take a look at tonight. But we'll be keeping an eye on who can turn that fast time and win that pole for race number 5 here at Texas.
Yeah, qualifying has just started up. Let's switch over to that live view. We'll take a look and see what these guys put down. New qualifying, you know, we're race number 5. You guys obviously have talked about the new qualifying format, but this is going to be my first time seeing this format and how these guys take to it. How's it been the last couple of weeks?
I think these guys have done a good job. You know, they're limited to one set of tires, and you know, these guys put down a pretty quick lap. You know, first couple laps, and of course the tires go away on them. So they'll come out, and I've seen a couple of guys use it as a little bit of extra practice, and you know. It definitely separates these guys to make sure they take care of their car and put down that fast lap for sure.
I love seeing these guys line it up on the pit road. That's kind of like the real NASCAR. You know what I mean? They're getting the car out of the box and parking it and getting ready to go out and put a lap time down. But not everybody's running out, which I like to see. It's kind of strategic.
Yeah, we'll see a lot of these guys jump out there quick, and you know, since it's open. Get a clean track, and then we got guys that really wait to the last minute, usually till everybody's done. So, you know, here early, we've seen a pretty quick time here by the 81 and Nate LaFleur at a 27.153. So that's a pretty quick time. That's the fastest time today. So we'll see if that'll hold up there as the rest of these guys try to make their laps.
Yeah, he was quick in practice last night and earlier before the race. Any time that's getting down into the 100s, man, that's pretty quick. Ricky Goodman on the track right now, you know, he had his 27.4, sitting in 4th place. He's been, you know, pretty consistent here during practice before the race as well. Looking for that speed.
Yeah, for sure. Ricky's done a pretty good job. 27.4 is very respectable. You know, it doesn't take much to miss a lap here, and these guys they're going to push you hard, but they also want to know that they want to get around in one piece. So definitely looking forward to seeing some of these guys have real quick times, and then the others might not be so fast, but when it becomes race time, it's go time, and we'll see those guys shine.
Mike Abbott on the 82 put down a pretty quick lap, that last lap, 27.392. Yeah, I guess his foot's healed up since the last time I talked to him, eh?
Yeah, for sure. He's seemed to be healed pretty well. He's had some bad luck over the last couple of weeks, but looks hopefully to be back and definitely strong this week, and we'll see if he can continue his you know, stamp at being at the front.
So I noticed you were out there during practice. How'd that car feel?
The car feels real good. You know, it feels like it's a little snug, a little tight on exit, but these guys will make the adjustments, and definitely it felt like the tires fell off pretty quick. So we'll watch these guys as the tires fall off and see who can manage their stuff good tonight, and to a point to where they can, you know, make adjustments to the car, and you know, and have their way and stretch these tires out over a run. That's going to be the guy that's going to take the checkered flag here tonight for sure. Yeah,
I heard the driver saying that they think it's going to be managing tires tonight, and that's really going to probably dictate the winner. A fuel run is, you know, 24, 25 laps, but tires are falling off pretty hard after 10, so it definitely should be an interesting race.
How's it going tonight, guys?
Jamie, buddy, welcome to the booth.
Yeah, had a couple of technical difficulties on my end, but I got it pretty much squared away, so glad to be in the booth with you guys tonight. So looking forward to the race. I heard you guys talking about the setup, and I know in practice last night I was able to get out there with the guys as well and get a few laps in, and people were talking about different setups. And the one that I'm interested in seeing is Raymond Edge. I don't know if he's going to be my pick tonight, but I did talk to him a little bit about his setup and the setup I ran in our sister league over at the Red Light the other night in the Truck Series, and we traded some notes. So I'm eager to see how that turns out for him this evening.
I think just you mentioning his name has kind of put him on edge.
Oh, no pun intended.
Well, actually no, but it worked pretty well. Yeah, he's just parked it on pit road. Looks like he's gonna wait and see what everyone else does here before he pulls back out.
I've also noticed a lot of these guys running a lot of the beer can paint schemes this week. We got some Budweiser, we got some Coors Light, got some Miller. A lot of guys going with the beer themes, I guess.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, I would agree. I mean, I think a lot of these drivers want to be able to change up the paint scheme, get the sponsors on there, get maybe some of their favorite gear or equipment that they use on a daily basis on the car, get them a little airtime. So can't blame them for that.
And you mentioned sponsors, so let's take a minute to talk about our current race sponsor. We are sponsored this week by Voice Attack. They were gracious enough to provide a couple keys here. We're going to give a key to the winner of this race to their software, and then we're going to give a key to the champion of this season as well. For those that don't know, Voice Attack is a voice automation program. It works really well with iRacing. It kind of, to be good at iRacing, you got to have a button box. You got to have controls, available to you to be able to, do tire selection and change your, what information you have up on the screen. You can't really use a keyboard. And Voice Attack takes that and kind of puts it on your microphone. You know what I mean? You key a button. You say I want to change 2 tires, and it'll key that up so you have right sides or left sides depending on what you set up. But you can really set up a whole bunch of stuff with this software. You use it, Jamie, right? Jamie's silent. Maybe he doesn't use it. I know that a couple of our guys do have keys for it. I've used it a couple seasons, and it worst thing about it for me was I spent so much money building my button box and then installed that program, and I don't touch my button box much anymore. So for those of you that are interested, check them out, voiceattack.com. They do have a free trial on there. You can go on there, give it a shot, and if you like it, it's really not that expensive, definitely cheaper than a button box. And again, we thank them for their support of this race. Let's get back to it.
Yeah, for sure. As we got about 2 minutes and 35 seconds left here in qualifying, we still got Nate LaFleur up there with a fast time. Got a couple drivers that have not taken time yet. So we get closer to time, we'll see them turn. But at 27.153 is a pretty smoking lap. So we'll see if Nate can hold on to that with a couple of fast drivers left to qualify.
Yeah, a couple drivers looks like they've parked it. They're done. They're happy with their times. Looks like the most lap turn right now, Brian Wynn. He turned 7 laps. But talking about those tires, man, if you can't put down a quick time in that first 3 laps or so, you're probably not going to do it with those tires.
Yeah, for sure. We were definitely seeing that last week at Martinsville as well. But these guys kind of realize how the tires are here, and they fall off pretty good. So some of them just getting a couple extra laps out there. Others are. I've seen the 86 of James Skelton just put down a pretty slow lap just to get started, but he was 6th fastest in practice, so we'll see him have to work his way through the field and see how that ends up for him and whether that was a smart choice or not.
So we got about a minute before qualifying finishes up. Let's do the battle of the booth. Right now, I've got the points updated. I don't want to toot my own horn here, guys, but I'm leading the standings with 157 points. Dustin, you're in second with 154, and Jamie, he's not far behind with 128 points. You guys have your selections ready for this race?
I think I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about it. Go ahead, and you guys can go first.
Well, Dustin, he finished last week, so he's gonna throw out that first pick. Who are you going with, buddy?
I think I'm gonna go with the 987 of Trent Potter. You know, he's last week's winner, and I'm hoping that momentum carries on to this week. One of our rookies that definitely don't act like one, so looking for him to have a pretty good race and be a solid top 5 guy all night.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty safe bet. You know, he's definitely looking for that 2 in a row. And hey, sitting outside row right now. Jamie, you're up, buddy.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Brian Wynn. You know, I like what I've seen out of him. He had a great race with red light on Monday here at Texas in the trucks. I think he's gonna carry that over into the race this evening. So I'm looking forward to see what he's got.
Good choice. And I think, you know, Nate LaFleur hasn't seen a lot of love this season. I don't think he's been picked yet. So, you know, he's sitting on the pole right now. I think he's looking pretty good. I think he's going to be my pick.
Good choices across the board there, guys. We'll get ready here to grid them up here shortly. And like I said, got Nate LaFleur. He's definitely looking to bounce back and have some a little bit better luck than he had last week. Didn't have a bad finish, but definitely looking forward to being faster tonight and being consistent.
Yeah, he's got to keep that car off the wall. I know in practice he definitely pushed in those right front fenders. So you know, if he can get out front, get a little bit of gap, and then concentrate on hitting his marks, I think he's got a good shot. Looks like these guys are gridding up. They're going to be getting on that start front real soon, and we're going to be rolling.
Yeah, that was a real fast lap there by Nate LaFleur, putting a quick one down. That's some real good speed out of him. It'll be interesting to see how he does throughout the race, though, because, you know, um, there's one thing for sure. Nate likes that wall coming out of 2. So it'll be interesting to see how well he manages the vehicle tonight.
Yeah, lane selection might be key too. You know, I don't. If he's pushing out the wall as it is, he probably doesn't want a car on the outside of him.
Yeah, and I don't know about you guys, but you know, and Dustin might have a thought about this too, having put a few laps down here. But I'm a big fan of that lower line. I've seen too many times a car even make way and take the higher line and just get in the upper part of that track into the marbles, and the next thing you know, they're into the wall and not even meaning to do it. So I like the low line around here. Plus, I think it provides a real good exit coming out of 2. So. We'll have to monitor that during the race, but I think we're going to see a few of these guys go low instead of try to work in that high line.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, right before we go ahead and call this grid off, I did want to say this is very similar to a Charlotte. So we saw those guys work the middle to upper grooves. So Jamie, we might see them work all 3 here. I heard a couple of them wanting to work the top, but we'll see how that works out as these cars all get together.
Absolutely. So big field tonight, guys. A lot of cars out there. You know, I always like it when there's this many cars on the field, to be quite honest with you, because it's one of those things. It doesn't matter where you're at. There's action around you all over the place. You know, the other thing that it brings up is the opportunity for there to be a big one. But we'll come back to that after we go through the qualifying grid here.
Yeah, let's go through it. Row number 1, we got Nate LaFleur and Trent Potter.
Row 2, we got the 15 of John Fershing Jr. and the 82 of Mike Abbott.
Row number.
Go ahead and take mine, Mike.
No problem. Row number 3, we got Jason Garrett and Joshua Buckley. And just as a side note, as you can see on the overlays, I've got the last season win logos on there. Those aren't current, so ignore those. I'll fix those for next week.
And row 4, we've got the 39 of Jeff File and the 924 of Chris Sharp.
Row number 5, we got Craig Sykes and Brian Wynn.
And row 6, the 4 of Ricky Goodman and the 14 of Timothy Lewis. Good to see him back this week.
Row 7, Brent Rogers and Kevin O'Brien.
Row 8, we got the 954 of Keith Haney, and alongside him his brother in the 930 of Daniel Haney.
Row number 9, Bruce Potter and Butch Fraser.
And row 10, we've got the 9 of Kevin Cochran and 955 of James Haney.
11, George
as we
Beck.
get the green flag.
And Nelson, row 12, we got James Skelton, Raymond Edge. And that brings us to a close there. Let's get them going, guys.
Yeah, some tight action right from the beginning here, but you know, we see these guys running side by side in the corner. You got to be real cognizant of the guy outside you or below you as they get into the corners here.
Yeah, for sure, Jamie. There's definitely got to be a lot of give and take here tonight, as turn 2 is pretty mean, and these guys are definitely going to have to, these tires wear off. They're definitely going to have to be cognizant of that, as coming off turn 2 is going to be an issue.
Ooh, we got some contact there almost. The guys keep it together.
Yeah, some real tight side-by-side action there. You know, when they're going across this tri-oval and into turn 1, you know, you got to get that right angle. As we see some of these cars going on that high line, and like I talked about, you know, and Dustin talked about as well, you know, it's one of those things that you've got to monitor and know what your car can do, and hopefully they've been able to find that during our practice sessions here. But, you know, true to practice, I think we're seeing guys run that low to middle line.
Yeah, for sure. Is right now, you know, Mike Abbott's all over the back bumper of Buckley, battling for that 4th spot. As Buckley takes a look to the inside of the 15, we're going to see guys switch positions probably all night. Once these tires start to wear in, though, we'll see these guys spread out and definitely see who's going to be able to manage their tires the best.
Yeah, I think that's a big point, man. I think these guys are trying to take advantage of those clean tires, and really you want to get as many positions as you can before they start to fall off.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think I'll take it even a step further there, Dustin. You had talked about, you know, these guys in their lines, and you know, when they're coming through the corner, depending on, you know, whether you enter it a little bit slower and look for that fast exit, I mean, you can really make up a lot of ground on the guy in front of you. So definitely some things to watch here this evening. I mean, it's a driver's track, and I think each driver is going to approach it a little bit differently. So it'll be interesting to see how it turns out. As we've already seen, you know, John Frisching Jr., he had a really good start there, but you know, he's kind of holding his own there with the top 5 right now.
Yeah, for sure. We got a pretty strong battle up front with the 81 of Nate LaFleur and 987 of Trent Potter, and, you know, now we see the 2 of Josh Buckley closing in, taking a look to the inside as we cross it, you know, for lap 7. I tell you what, these guys are going to battle all night, and as these tires fall off, man, we'll definitely see these guys change lines and move these cars around to find that grip.
Yeah, Josh is definitely on a mission. He wants to get out there and lead some laps. He's one of the quickest cars on the track right now.
Did we have an incident there with Jordan Beck and James Skelton or not?
Not quite sure.
I wasn't sure either.
They both seem to be going straight, so we'll keep an eye on that battle. As you know, like I said, the 86 of James Skelton, really fast in practice, chose to start at the back tonight, and we'll see him try to battle his way up to the front. But don't count your cards out on him. He's definitely been faster the last several weeks.
Yeah, James is fast here. It's kind of funny we mentioned that. I mean, James is fast, you know, wherever we go. I mean, he's definitely able to carry the speed around in that car, knows his way around the track. So definitely one to keep an eye on throughout the race. So
right now they're battling pretty hard for that first place position. Josh has got the bumper on Nate. Looks like he's going to go inside.
And it looks like Nate kind of just heeds to him a little bit. He realizes he's a little fast, but almost looks like a crossover.
Yeah, crossover
here.
Works. No,
as Buckley's into the wall off of 2. There's that trouble 2 we talked about. Josh Buckley hard into the wall on the turn 2 exit. Probably going to slow that car down. We'll see how these guys either gobble him up or he can get his composure back and start licking off laps again.
It looks like he just got into that corner and maybe overdrove it a little bit. He's got that quicker pair, though.
Damage.
Yeah,
he's definitely got the damage on the right quarter front there. It's I think you'll find that's going to slow him down a little bit. Ooh, gets on the apron even, and looks like he was almost on the verge of losing it.
Yeah, it's definitely looking like a handful right now.
Yeah, for sure, guys. Just real quick here, this is our 5th race of the Pro Series this year, which has been a big hit for a lot of these guys. But I tell you what, after the first 4 races and having 4 different winners, man, what's some of you guys' thoughts on that?
Hey, I think that speaks to the talent that we got in the league, man. I think that's pretty crazy that we got 4 races off the bat and 4 different winners. And it also means that we've got 4 people guaranteed to be in the chase.
Yeah, I would agree with both of you guys' comments. Talking about 4 different winners and 4 different races. I mean, these guys. They don't come to just take it easy around the track. I mean, they're here to win, and they put in the time. I mean, if you see them out on the Tuesday practice and everything, they're really working to get those setups fine-tuned. They're trading notes. There's a lot of feedback. There's a lot of interaction with the other drivers in the league, which is great, because if you're struggling, you're able to go back and have a conversation with somebody to kind of say, hey, what can I do differently? And you see that constantly every Tuesday night during the practice. So
it's like Josh had enough of that car. He came in and he looks like he's going to get it repaired up before it goes back out.
Yeah, for sure. Just we talked about how these tires are falling off. We're here at turning lap 15. We're starting to see some of these guys starting to spread out a little bit. We've got Trent with almost 0.7 of a second lead over Nate LaFleur. But we'll see these guys as this run goes on. The tires are going to fall off a lot quicker than the fuel will run out. So we'll see how these guys manage their tires. Some of them get pretty hard on them to start with, so we'll see how that holds off over this first run.
Yeah, just talking to the guys down in the pit, and Josh doesn't use a quick repair. He actually has the crew work on it, and they get that right quarter panel beat down, as best they can. And he's back out on the track, but no quick repair on that one.
Interesting strategy. Maybe he thinks the wrecks are going to keep coming here, so might pay off for him in the long run.
Yeah, I would agree, but I don't know. The field is strong tonight. And it's spread out, I think, is another one. So it'll be interesting to see if we see a whole lot of cautions here this evening.
Yeah, for sure. I think as these tires wear off, we could see, guys start to knock down that turn 2 wall. And the times have already fell off pretty good. We're already in the 28.5 second lap times right now from some of the leaders. So they fell off already about a second, at least 1.5 seconds. So these guys, as they manage their stuff and realize that these tires are falling off, have to change maybe some of their lines, definitely some of their, areas getting into the corner. So we'll keep an eye on that and see who manages the best. And then, of course, these guys stay green, guys. There's going to be a lot of green flag pit stops. And, this track's very similar to Atlanta, and we had some trouble getting on the pit road at Atlanta. So hopefully these guys have got that remedied, and we'll see how that comes around if we have green flag pit stops.
Right now we're on board with Mike Abbott as he's trying to get up there to Nate. Looks like he just touched the apron there coming out of 4 and had to back it off a little bit. Nate went real high there. Looks like Mike's going to have a real good run here off of 2. See if he can do anything with it.
Yeah, and you got some of the most consistent drivers up there in Mike Abbott and John Frisching Jr. Those guys, they don't make too many mistakes. They're pretty cool with their car. They know the ins and outs around the track, and so it should be a good battle up there.
Yeah, it looks like Nate lost a couple spots there. John was able to follow Mike on underneath him. So, yeah, these tires are falling off. That's exactly what's happening, I think, right here.
Yeah, guys, I want to speak on the looks like the 73 of Jason Garrett. He's got him a solid top 5 spot at the moment, and Yeah, we talked about the Battle of the Beers earlier. He's running that Coors Light. That's a new paint scheme for him. Car looks to be good tonight, but he last time out had a decent run and had some electrical issues there, and they couldn't get that car restarted. So it's good to see him back this week, and we'll definitely keep an eye on him as this race continues.
Yeah, and he's got Cowboy all over that back end of that car. Cowboy looks like he was looking for a position there.
Yeah, these 1.5 miles for old Cowboy Rogers. He's definitely pretty strong at these things, and we expect to see him up towards the front, you know, for a good part of this race. So we'll see if he can hang around and be consistent and be able to keep that car up front and see where his finish is tonight. Definitely like to see a good finish out of him. As we turn lap 23 here, you know, just come over to radio that 15 of John Fershing is going to take it down pit road. So, you know, these guys are already thinking about coming down and getting fuel. So we'll see how these runs and who can stretch it the longest here.
It looks like we got a couple takers as they're coming down. 24, lap 24. That's about a run. Looks like these guys are going to come in. Maybe Josh will use the opportunity to try and pick up some time since he's on a different strategy now than everybody.
You know, and John, speaking of John Fershing Jr., you know, you take a look at his car, and he's running, I didn't realize this until now, but he's, above his door, he's got Johnny Whopper. I'm not really sure what the Whopper's in reference to. You guys know what that's in regards to?
That I do not know, but I have seen it on a few of his paints, I think, yeah.
Johnny Whopper.
Not really sure about that, but if you look over the door of Nate LaFleur, he's Whopper Jr., so I don't know if that has anything going on or they got some we don't know about, but we'll have to continue to, and I'll maybe get a word with him later on in the race and ask him just what that means.
Yeah, for our viewers who don't know, they are a father and son duo there. So I'm sure there's some inside meeting. Well, this could be bad. Oh, that almost sucked. Nate coming down to his pit box, had a car inside him, but that was okay. I puckered up a bit.
Well, you know, and now that they're in the pits, we're seeing everybody take four. I'm really thinking we're going to see that all evening long. I mean, I did, you know, it's kind of interesting. You've got to be able to have something to reference, but, you know, that race again on Monday night with Red Light, we've seen everybody take 4 tires. We did see a couple takers of 2 towards the end, but that didn't work out so well for them. So, you know, because tires just, they fall off quicker than you think here. So it'll be interesting as we get into the later part of the race to monitor that.
Yeah, Jamie, you're right. Just a quick note there, we saw the 555 stay out. He's definitely one of the fuel mileage gurus. He stayed out an extra lap to lead one there, so he picks up an important bonus point. So nothing new there from the Butcher Frazier, but it's good to see him lead a lap there, and he's got service on his car and he's back out.
Now, if I don't know if you guys have looked, but I was taking a look at James Haney in the 955. He's missing the back part of that car around the track right now. I'm not really sure what he was involved in, but he definitely got into something.
Yep, that's he's definitely tore it up. I don't know if maybe he got loose and took the back end off the wall. It's possible.
But don't you think, Mike, though? I mean, you take a look at that car. I really don't see the spoiler seems to be intact. He should be all right.
It doesn't really look all that damaged. I think you'd be okay with the back end. If not, you might even be a little bit quicker. I know he's not turning any fast laps right now, but the front end of that car looks fine.
Yeah, a couple of notes. You know, a couple of years ago, Jeff Gordon had the back end knocked off his car at Charlotte, and it definitely made him run a lot faster. So we'll see if James can get that thing going there and maybe pick him up a couple of tenths there on the track.
Have you guys checked out Ricky Goodman, Tricky Ricky? He's pushing, trying to get around James there, and talking about the guys that like to play with the fuel mileage a little bit. Tricky Ricky is definitely one of those guys.
Yeah, riding on board with him, he's definitely known to kind of be easy on that throttle and conserve gas, especially on a race like this one. I'm sure as we get, later in the race, these guys are going to be doing some math, trying to figure out how they can stretch it, and maybe take one less pit stop than everybody else. It's definitely a valid strategy. Ricky won 2 races last year on the fuel strategy, so you never can count him out.
Yeah, absolutely. Not a stranger to victory lane with that fuel mileage strategy that he goes with. We'll see how he approaches the later part of the race.
Yeah, for sure, man. We look back up front. We got Mike Abbott out front as we cycle through those pit stops. Man, he's done a great job tonight. We know this man's got speed, so very well we could look at our 5th different winner tonight. Trying to look from the pool that possibly could come from. But it would be awesome to see a 5th different winner here tonight for sure.
Yeah, his lap times are still pretty good. He did take 2 tires that last stop. He gained a bunch of time in the pits. We'll see how that 2-tire strategy works out for him. He's got about 15 cars behind him that have 4 fresh ones, so we'll see how it goes.
Would it be possible to take a quick peek in on my pick, Brian Wynn, in that 900? He's another one of those CRC guys running out there with some pretty good speed. I know he had a lot to say today on Facebook as he was making some posts on his social networking page, if you will, but he was calling out CRC and going back to his original sponsors at Calandra Racing Concepts, Trinity, and these Orca guys, so I think he wanted to get a shout out to them. So hopefully it's a good night for him, especially since I picked him, and he's able to keep that car clean.
He's definitely got a nice looking car. It's real poppy with that. You call that like a violet or a pink? It's in your face. I like it.
It's definitely more like a magenta, but that's a whole another suggestion. But I tell you what, as we were sitting there watching him there for a few minutes, he definitely had his hands full with a couple of drivers right in front of him battling pretty hard. So keep an eye on him, and like I said, all you got to do is try to survive here and be at the end, and we'll see if he can hang around and do that.
Yeah, and those guys, the guys out of the CRC garage, they're always putting up good horsepower. They're always working on their setups, and you see them, all of them, to be quite honest with you, run pretty consistently, pretty hard. So definitely a team to look out for going forward as we get closer to the chase.
Yeah, for sure. And, just looking right here through the field, we talk about our biggest movers. Tonight, right now, we've got Nelson Riviere. He's sitting in the 6th spot. He started 22nd tonight. He's been fast pretty much all week, but they kind of missed it there in qualifying. But he's definitely made up for it after that first round of pit stops, and he's definitely got himself up there in a good position to pounce on these leaders if we ever get a caution here.
Yeah, to make up that many positions in 37 laps, we're not talking a lot of time there. He's pretty quick, and he's definitely turning some quick laps. His last lap was a 28.0, and everybody above him, everybody ahead of him actually is slower. I think John might be just a tad quicker, but he'll be challenging for that top 5 in just a few laps.
Yeah, Nelson's one of our rookies, and he's one of those, man, that definitely don't show his rookie standing there. And here in preseason at Atlanta, he won one of our preseason races. So this is that mile and a half. This is one of his places to be. Is we got a yellow
caution.
Flag. It looks like 82 of Mike Abbott's involved. We'll go back and take a look at the replay.
Yeah, Mike's got some pretty heavy damage there on the back end. His car almost looks just like James Haney's car, but maybe a little bit worse for wear.
Yeah, that one was a really weird one. It looks like it just there must have been some net code, and it just sent him around. It didn't look like there was any contact at all.
And just unfortunate, it looks like the 73 of Jason Garrett's taking that car back behind the wall. Maybe some ignition issues. We'll get down there and see if we can try to get a word.
Yeah, it's almost like he blew a tire there on the 82. Definitely no contact between him or in the inside car, but it came around on entry and brought out the caution.
Yeah, for sure, Mike. That's a pretty good point. You know, he did. You did mention earlier he took 2 tires. So you know, guys are going to try things here early. Unfortunately, he got into the wall, and there's going to be a little bit of damage. That crew's going to have to go to work on that thing. But 2 tires there seeming to be a tough choice. But we'll see how these guys fare as the race goes on, and see if that call might be made by a few others as well.
Pit road's a busy place right now. Lots of cars in. Looks like we got a couple taking 2. I think we're going to see most people take 4.
And you know, Mike, you talked about it earlier. I didn't get a chance to respond to you, but you know, now is a perfect time to be using voice attack. I mean, that's how I use it when I'm racing. You know, the yellow comes out. You know, I've got most of my pit strategy already pre-programmed into voice attack. I'll call out, you know, left sides only, right sides only, fuel only, 50% fuel. You know, I've got all my different black boxes up there for me to call. So if I want to see relative, if I'm in the pit and I want to know where the cars are at on the track or how far away they are, I'm able to quickly get on there and kind of see where they're at. I use voice attack every race that I race in. It's a great tool. If you haven't used it, check it out. And if you need help, you know, programming some of those commands in, you know, the Voice Attack website is great. There's also forums out on iRacing that talk about it. There's plenty of resources out there. It's a great tool.
You know what? It actually even adds that extra element because I don't know about you, but I got mine programmed to talk back to me. So when I'm like, you know, change right sides, it comes back and says 10-4, right sides only. Like it just kind of like you're talking to your crew chief, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. You know, another one that I use it for, but you got to be careful with it. And this isn't a knock on it. I mean, you just got to know how to use tool. But a lot of guys will have the engine start and the ignition on a button or on a box that they can push. But for those guys that don't have it, like me, I have it to where I can just cut the ignition just by saying a keyword, and it works really smooth when you're trying to save gas as well. So.
Yeah, and I think, you know, to be safe, like having everything on voice is good, but it allows you to map a button on your wheel, so you can push a button and then say your command and let go of your button. So, you know, it's not going to pick up on your normal communications. It really won't fire off by accident if you use it the right way. So, again, I think it's a valuable tool. I think button boxes are super important, and I think that can really just take that button box and make it obsolete. That's how good the software is. Alright, looks like these guys are lining up double file. It means we're going to go back to green. Pace car lights are out, and Keith Haney is he's on the inside. Looks like maybe he stayed out. He is sitting on the pole.
Yeah, we're going to really have to see how he is on this restart. You know, not stopping there. Yeah, see how he can get this restart going and hopefully not stack these guys up by spinning his tires.
I do notice though his car's repaired, so I'm not sure if he just had a super good stop or if he came in before, but has definitely got a back end of that car now. Unless I'm getting my Haneys mixed up, which is possible.
You did get your Haneys mixed up.
Okay.
His father was the one that had the damage earlier, James Haney in 955. So.
10-4.
But Keith only had an 8.2 second stop, where everybody else, for the most part, had a 14-second stop. So he might have only gone with 2 tires here. We'll have to see.
All right, pace car's in. Looks like these guys are green. We got them crossing the finish line right here.
Yeah, some real tight 2x2 action going into the corner as Haney's able to make that bottom line work.
Yeah, we'll see Trent battle back hard here down the back stretch. He's really had a good car on the top, so we'll see how that works for him as they go into 3 here.
Yeah, especially if you're sitting in 6th or 7th right here with all these cars bunched up, man, you have an opportunity to pick some cars off, and I'm sure we're going to see some aggressive driving right here.
Oh yeah, as we see the 14 of Tim Lewis, man, he's got a quick car here on this restart. He goes to the bottom of Haney there for the spot.
Yeah, Tim Lewis has always been pretty fast out there. And talking with John Fershing Jr. after practice the other night, he was talking about he's using some pedals that he got from Tim, and they really work out well for him. I was really surprised. In fact, these guys put a lot of their own money and dollars into the equipment to do this type of racing, but John's using some pretty high-tech pedals here to get the real feel in the car. So I don't know what you guys' experience is with that, but I know a lot of people spend their time on the steering wheel or the pedals, but it depends on the driver.
I think it also depends on your wallet. I'd love to. There's so much stuff I would buy if my wife wasn't around. She's sitting right behind me, so I can't say that I would spend a ton of money, but. Yeah, you could. You could definitely spend a couple grand on this stuff easy.
Yeah, I mean, we were looking at pedals the other night that were just pedals alone were $1,000. So you can, like you said, you can definitely get lost in it.
Yeah, for sure. I tell you what, guys, as we go back to the battle on the track, the 15 of John Fershing, he's definitely been catching, slowly but surely been catching that 987 now that he's got some clean air here. So we'll see as this run goes on if he can reel him in anymore or just keep him just a safe distance so he can, over this next green flag pit stop or so, if we go, he'll be able to be close and pounce on him here.
Taking a look at Raymond Edge. Raymond Edge is looking on the outside of Brian Wynn, and he's definitely in traffic there. Looks like Raymond's got found the wall here in one of these corners. If you take a look on that outside of his car, he's definitely got some a Texas stripe on there.
Yeah, just a little bit of paint damage. I think he'd be all right as he goes underneath the 930 there.
Yeah, we'll probably see that all night as this race goes on, especially as we continue to get these tires and in between getting closer to pit stops. You'll see these guys battling side by side and getting real racy. And I tell you what, you get that little bit of feeling, Jamie and Mike. You know this is you see that guy in front of you and you want to get to him. You push that car a little bit harder, and before you know it, it's easy to be in the outside wall. So we'll keep an eye on those guys and see how many can keep themselves out of it tonight.
Yeah, the 930 of Dan Haney, to your point there, Dustin, is having all kinds of trouble. He's been in the wall about 3 times and lost probably 5 spots now as the looks like Kevin O'Brien is going to go around him.
Yeah, he's got some major right front damage there. Looks like you can see the tire exposed. That's going to really slow the car down, and he could have hit it really hard, knocked the toe in, and that could be a big handful right now, as Rick looks like he's going to try and go underneath him.
Yeah, and he's running that outside. When I talked about it earlier, outside on this track is not where you want to be in those corners. And, good for him for keeping it up on the high line, but, it's not going to help him get around the track any faster being up that high.
Yeah, I think he's definitely trying to, stay out of everyone's way. He knows he's not quick, and it's really a sign of a good driver who knows when he can't compete, and he tries to keep it out of the way and not wreck the fields, kind of like Kevin Harvick last Sunday.
Wow.
Yeah, you like that one, eh? That was good.
Hey, guys, as we look up front, the battle for fourth is heating up as the 86 of James Skelton. He started in 23rd spot tonight. Guys missed a little bit in qualifying, but he's our biggest mover at the moment. He's right on the back bumper of Tim Lewis, and right behind him is the 922 of Nelson Riviera. Those guys fighting hard for position. Really good battle.
But I'm curious about your thoughts with that, Dustin, though, because you can either stay in line and get speed and get around this track, or you can try to get that position in front of you. But if you can't get it, you bring in the driver behind you. So, kind of what is your strategy here as we see Nelson look to the inside of Skelton?
It just depends, man. We're at lap 55 here, so we've got a little ways to go. So these guys they're going to be racy. They want to keep themselves in position, but James looks like he's going to ride. If he's going to get the opportunity, he'll duck down and make that move, and I'm sure Tim will heed to him. So these guys just got to be smart and keep the car underneath them and save the tires. Running that higher line, letting Nelson go here as 922 looks underneath him. Giving him that position and holding up a little bit might help him out in the long run.
Yeah, save a little bit on those tires. Hopefully that does work out for him. I'm not sure if that's what he meant to do, but it definitely worked out or turned out that way. So.
Yeah, we look up front, man. I tell you what, that 15's on the march. He's reeled in the 987, just under 0.3 of a second there. So he's definitely, as these tires are starting to wear, he's managing his tires well and being able to reel in that leader. So we'll have a battle right here pretty soon.
Now, if you're John and you think you're faster than Trent, are you going to get up there and force the issue? You're going to kind of, we're not even at the halfway point here. You're going to kind of back it off and just keep pace.
Well, Jamie, I don't know about you, but I definitely think that the 15 of Fershing, we've talked about it all season about he's a cool customer, so he's going to get up there and he's going to do everything he can to stay within reach here, and if he gets the opportunity, he's going to take it. If not, he's good with riding here. He knows it's still early, so we'll keep an eye on him as this race goes on, as he's definitely got that car hooked up tonight.
Yeah, I would agree. Jan isn't one to necessarily push the issue. He's sitting in second. There's no reason for him to really want to get around him. I mean, he's already got his bonus points tonight, for at least leading a lap. He may, if he wanted to lead the most laps, maybe, but we got a caution out.
I do have a caution.
We see Buckley slow on the bottom.
James Haney's involved.
Couple cars damaged here. We got the 959 of Butch Potter. We've got a little bit of damage to the 94 Kevin O'Brien. Several guys, so we'll have to keep an eye and see how guys get down pit road and get these cars repaired.
See if we can figure out how this happened. Oh yeah, looks like a couple cars turned. See if we can figure out who it was here. Oh yeah, looks like Buckley was just really slow on the low part of the track and might have been in the way here. Let's take one more quick look.
Okay, the 955 of James Haney there, we talked about him earlier. He's definitely missing the whole deck lid and everything off that car now. So these guys got a little bit of work to do.
Yeah, looks like Josh maybe gets a little loose, cuts it down.
Well,
you know what? It looks like Josh just slammed the brakes on. Maybe he was coming down into the pits and looks like he just got turned. It's a interesting one. We have to get his take, but it looked like he was trying to come into the pits, and that might be not informing your drivers on what you're doing, or maybe people weren't paying attention and saw him calling to come into the pits. But yeah, that's what brought that caution out for sure.
That's a tough break, Mike. We saw that, and Jamie, we saw that at Atlanta several different times. So we talked about it earlier before the broadcast started, and here we go, right again, just like Atlanta. So guys are going to have to be cognizant of what's going on and definitely call out their pit stop. So we see what happens when you don't. So tough break there for Buckley and for a couple other guys. So hopefully they can get them cars down pit road and get them repaired.
Yeah, you called it. I mean, I think he at least thought about getting in there to get in the pits, and just the speed at this track is so fast. You only have fractions of a second to even to adjust, and he had traffic behind him, and maybe it was communications things. I mean, we really don't know. I mean, we got to see the take a look at what happened, but that's why communication is so big. You got to be able to make sure that the other drivers know what you're doing out there. So hopefully everybody can get squared away and get back out there and get some racing in.
Yeah, for sure. We see Brian Wynn there. He stayed out. He went back down pit road, but he is going to pick up his second lap lead tonight. So keep an eye on Jamie's driver. He's definitely staying out of trouble so far and doing a good job. So he's led a couple laps. So that's a good thing to see.
Yeah, and I was while you were talking there, Dustin, I was just taking a look at Buckley's car. I don't believe he's got a quick repair or anything anymore, but he's definitely got some pretty substantial damage to the back end of that car. But I don't think it's going to affect him a whole lot. He's just got a real big dent there in the center. So
Yeah, for sure. It looks like some of those guys got that rear end taped up the best they could. He's got a little bent spoiler. You know, uh, Maybe he might come out of this thing a little better than he hoped. So we'll keep an eye on it, and he'll probably pull it back down pit road, and they'll work on it a little more and see if he can salvage something here tonight.
well, I don't know about you guys, but I'd really like to see that 900 go to victory lane tonight.
Yeah, I definitely would, Jamie. He would definitely be our fifth different winner tonight. We talked about that earlier, man. You know, the talent that we have here at NAVSCAR is just it's amazing me this year as it's all coming together. 4 different winners in 4 races, and here we are, number 5. Got a pretty good chance for it to be a different winner here again. So we'll keep an eye on that, and that 900 will definitely be good to see in victory lane tonight.
But also let Jamie gain some points in the battle of the booth.
He needs it desperately, so that would be a good thing for him as well.
Yeah, I need all the help I can get.
Well, it looks like these guys are getting double foul again. We're going to be going back to green here in about half a lap. Trent Potter is back up front. We got John Fershing, Brent Rogers in third, Nate LaFleur in fourth, and Timothy Lewis rounds out the top 5. Should be an interesting restart here. John's probably going to try and take advantage of it.
Yeah,
Decent restart.
It was interesting to see, too, if those guys were going to really try to time that restart. It always makes it interesting, too, because I have somebody that's just a little bit more eager than maybe the car in front of them and get them squirrely. But, the one that actually went real well there was Brent Cowboy Rogers, currently running third, now getting pressure from Nelson. But great start by Rogers.
3 wide as Rogers in the middle, Nate outside. Nelson's on the inside. They sorted out, though.
Yeah, good job by those 3.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to work out very long if they continue that 3 wide action.
Nate gets a little high, has to get off the gas there, prevent it from bouncing off the wall.
It's like 3 puppies under a blanket.
Hey, another one, man. We've talked about him a few times tonight, but that Tim Lewis's caution comes out on the track. Tim Lewis is pretty fast here tonight.
Looks like we got Raymond Edge involved in an incident there, along with I believe Kevin O'Brien. Oh, I actually misspoke there. It looked like Raymond Edge and Dan Haney get into each other a little bit, and looks like Raymond got a little help. Yeah, that 930 of Daniel Haney just into the side of Raymond there.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough break for Edge there. He's had fast cars all year, man, and just the luck is not finding him. So definitely unfortunate break there is you know, getting into the side of Edge there and causing him to run up the track and hit the wall.
And I would say, for the record, even though I talked about him earlier, I did not choose him. I just thought he would be fast this evening. And he has been. He's been running in the middle of the field, so I mean, hopefully, looks like his engine blew, to be quite honest with you, as he's creeping into pit road here.
Yeah, we'll take a look and see if he got that crew can go to work on that thing and get that thing quick repair if he's already used it up. Hopefully he's got one to use and can get back out there and be competitive.
And he does use a quick repair, and he's out. So see him back out on the track, but he's got to be super careful now with that vehicle, as you know, we're just again, like Mike said, not even halfway through the race here.
So with that cycling, man, I got John Fershing up front, Brent Rogers in second, Timothy Lewis third, Kevin O'Brien in fourth, and Nelson Rivera in fifth. And we'll see if it stays like that. Some of these guys might come in. I don't think John came in.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure, but I'm looking at Brent Rogers. I don't. Looks like he took just two there, and as well as Nelson Rivera and Nate LaFleur and Craig Sykes, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll keep an eye on those guys and see how that handles over this. This was kind of a short run, so we'll see if maybe the tires aren't off as bad as it would be over a longer run.
I'm just curious, Dustin, Mike, your guys' thoughts specifically about the fuel mileage here. I mean, do you want to have more fuel in the car, or do you want to have, honestly, less fuel in the car? I mean, I think less fuel in the car loosens it up a little bit, maybe give you that feel in the car that you're looking for, but or do you want to fill it up and play the fuel strategy game right here? Because you can definitely mix it up, as we see, Tricky Ricky come in, top it off with fuel.
Yeah, I think on a track like this, you're right. Definitely the less fuel in the car, it's going to feel a little bit different. But you got to keep in mind these cars are already running at 50%, and I think we've got to pack it in as much as we can. I think stretching fuel here can win you a race, and you can usually manage the car.
I tell you what, I was listening to a couple of the conversations on pit road, and was listening in to a couple of guys saying how loose they got over that last run, and how right before that caution come out, and you're probably having different feelings from different guys depending on what tires they took, whether it was 2 or 4 last time. So we'll keep an eye. These cars are seeming they seem, from what I'm hearing over the radio, that these cars are freeing up a little bit. So that could be an advantage to a couple of guys, and it could hurt others. So we'll see that. And see if we continue to get these cautions, or we're going to have a real good long green flag run here. Get ready to go back green.
Yeah, and I think Tim Lewis is honestly going to be fast on this restart. You talked about him earlier, Dustin, about how well he's been able to find speed in that vehicle, especially over these last couple races with us, whether it was last season or even going into this one. He's been able to find speed in that car. So him sitting in third and kind of in the catbird seat, it should be a real good start there between those 3 or 4 cars as we get ready to take the green.
Yeah, for sure, as we get ready for the pace car to dive off on the pit road, these guys are going to take the green. It's going to be interesting to see that 8 and see how good of a restart he can get here.
And of course, as I said that, I thought Tim was going to get a better start than that, as he's got Nate LaFleur just all over the back end of that car. Rogers coming out of 2 he's going to be able to carry that momentum as Rogers doesn't really have anybody to help him push him along, and I think we're going to see Tim take that position into second. LaFleur almost into the back end there of Tim, and coming out of 4, Tim Lewis is going to, take that second spot and run with it.
Yeah, Nate LaFleur in the 81's very aggressive on that restart. It's good to see him. He's been quiet, but around the top 5 all night. So he's definitely hungry for a win, and been faster all week. So got a pretty good battle here for the second spot right now as guys all over the back bumper each other.
But Tim's got to go. I mean, if he doesn't go, LaFleur and, who is that right behind LaFleur?
That's Trent Potter.
Yeah, Trent Potter's. Those guys are going to take that position if he's not going to hold it. So.
Hey, just a little break in the action here. We talked earlier about the name over the door of Mike Abbott. You guys were saying it was Johnny Whopper.
It was John Pershing Jr.
John Pershing Jr. Yeah.
Right, but you were saying Abbott had what was his saying over the door of his car?
Oh, I don't know that we only talked about Nate LaFleur and John Pershing Jr. Whopper and Whopper Jr. there. I wasn't sure that I wasn't aware of the name over Mike's door.
It was just miscommunication by me. I thought you had said Abbott had something about Whopper on his, and I didn't know if there was a little bit of changing in teams there as Mike Abbott was looking to go over to CRC, as a rumor start. I didn't know if that's what you were talking about or not, but good job by clearing that up for me.
I do know there has been some shuffling going on in the teams while racing has, I believe, I haven't had a chance to update it, but I believe Josh has decided to move on from that team, so I think he's going to try and do a single car team or possibly join another team and see if he can have some luck on his own there.
Well, I mean, things kind of change during the season. I mean, you see it in the regular NASCAR, I mean, depending on what the sponsors want to do and where those cars are running. We have talked about it in the previous races. Josh has been struggling here a little bit, and that's no secret, but, he's a previous champion. He knows how to get it done. But, the sponsors want to go where the cars are winning. So, maybe that's a testament to that. Maybe it's some internal politics. We really don't know. But, I think that's kind of normal to see throughout the season.
Yeah, for sure. In the real world, drivers change teams almost yearly, so it's not strange for sure.
Yeah, just to mention, over the last couple of weeks, we've seen a new sponsor in that J&N Phillips Auto Glass on that number 2 Ford Fusion of Josh Buckley. So sporting the CRC colors, definitely a change there. Definitely some sponsorship changes as well. So we'll keep an eye on him, and hopefully over the next several weeks, his luck changes a little bit. And, he's definitely been fast and let one slip away from him last week. So we know he's fast. He's a previous champion here, and we'll see him continue to do well, I'm sure.
Happy to see him back on the lead lap, though, after that incident earlier on. That back end, the rear end of that car is still pushed in, but he's holding his own right now in 13th position.
Yeah, for sure. And, I mean, that last lap, he was just as fast as the leader. So, definitely still got some speed in that car. Got a little ground to make up, but we'll keep an eye on and see if he can be around at the end. Yeah, that 987 of Trent Potter, he's the fastest car on the track at the moment, as him and Nate battle for that second spot. But tell you what, while they're battling John Pershing, he's just trying to stretch as much as he can to hold those guys off. So we'll see over this run again who manages their tires the best.
Mike, Dustin, do you think if it were on the last lap, you think Nate would dump his old man to take the win?
There's no doubt in my mind. That man wants to win, and I don't blame him. I like to see Nate. He doesn't race anybody any harder than he would expect to be raced. And but I tell you what, he wants to win, and he's definitely got a fast car. So if it came down to it, I think he'd definitely try to ruffle the old Pop's feathers just to see what he could do for sure.
I don't even think it has to be the last lap, to be completely honest.
That's another good point.
And he's making ground on him right now too, so he's closing the gap.
One of our members in our chat mentioned Brian Wynn. He's got a name as well. It's the Dumper. What do you think? What do you think that means?
Well, that could be open-ended. I'm not quite sure. We'll definitely have to speak with Brian and see what exactly that means. But racing-wise, want to talk about it? Talk about that.
As we're talking about being dumped, it looks like he just got turned around himself. Oh, that's unfortunate to see. Let's see if we can take a look at a replay there.
They got a lot of rear end damage on the 900, so we'll keep it. We'll see what the replay shows here. 905 of Craig Sykes gets in the back of him, just racing hard there.
Yeah, it looks like Brian got maybe a little bit tight, got up in the high line, had to slow it down a bit, and yeah, just got run over there a little bit. Easy to help someone around coming out of that corner, for sure.
Yeah, that's not exactly what I wanted to see this evening, but you know, it's kind of unavoidable. But you know, I don't think he's got a whole lot of damage. It'll be interesting to see. Well, he does have the back end knocked out of that car, but you know, he'll get it repaired. He'll go back out there.
Yeah, Jamie, definitely for your benefit, I'd like to see him get back out there. I'd really like to see that this curse go away, and you know, it's still got a little bit of time left, and maybe he can get down there and get that thing repaired, because I think this is his first incident. So, guys, go to work on that car and get him back out.
Well, yeah, Dustin. You know, I walk around in the garage. I mean, I feel like the drivers are kind of avoiding me. The only time they want to talk to me is when they when they want to know who I'm picking. So, it's definitely making things interesting.
You know, Jamie, if you got to be popular, you got to be some way. So I tell you what, that's not the way I'd choose. But I tell you what, man, I like you pretty good. So I don't know about the rest of them, but I definitely wouldn't count Brian out for tonight for sure.
Yeah, just riding on board there with Craig. Looks like you know, Craig tried to get out of it, just couldn't get out of it enough, and yeah, just spun him around. Nothing intentional. Didn't look like. I'm sure these guys have already chatted about it, and yeah, hopefully we can see Brian back out there. But you're right, man. You do pick him, buddy.
Yeah, and you know, taking a look at that replay as you showed that too. You know, I think we've all been in that same position, Mike. I know you have. You're coming out of that corner, and honestly, that pedal is all the way down. I mean, you're not lifting. You're not expecting the car in front of you to be slow. To be quite honest with you, because you're trying to make ground, and you know, stuff like that. When the guy in front of you is just a little bit off the throttle, just or having some problems. I mean, you know, you're in them before you even really have a chance to react to it.
Yeah, for sure. It's just one of those things. You definitely are working on your own corner. You're not really, you know, we're all looking out the front window for sure, but you're not expecting someone to be off the pace, at least so quickly like that. And yeah, it's hard to get up your foot off the gas, let alone hit the brake in that situation. You kind of just, you know, you let off and try and hope he collects it, and unfortunately he didn't. So.
Yeah, and that mild tire wear is going to come into play after so many laps. You know, the way it handled on the first lap with fresh 4 Goodyears is not going to be the way that it reacts, you know, with 10 to 15 laps on it. And every lap takes a little bit more of that rubber off the tire, and it changes the way you enter and exit the corner. And so, you know, I can't keep talking about it more than that. I mean, it's just one of those racing deals. You got to be able to monitor the car and adapt accordingly. And unfortunately, in this case, it was where, you know, somebody kind of paid the price for maybe the car in front of them just not or the car changing up a little bit. So
It's racing, that's for sure.